In this video, I'll teach you 50 essential American English phrases that you can use every day. These are phrases that will make conversations easier and help you sound more like a native speaker. So let's go. Alright, let's start with a really common one. When you hear something really surprising and you can't believe it, you can say, "Are you for real?"
Are you for real? Are you for real?
For example, if a friend tells you that they won $1,000, you can tell them, "Are you for real?" If you've ever talked to someone and thought, "Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking."
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
You can say, "I couldn't agree more."
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more.
If you went to the movies with your friend, for example, and your friend said, "Wow, that was the best movie I've ever seen," you could say, "I couldn't agree more." Now, sometimes things don't go as planned. Maybe you arrive late to a meeting, or you have something happen that you really didn't want to happen. That's when you can tell yourself, it's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world.
Or you can tell it to somebody else. If they're having a bad day, maybe they spilled a drink on their shirt, you could say, "It's not the end of the world." We all make mistakes. It happens. And so that's when you can say, "I really screwed up."
I really screwed up. I really screwed up.
It's honest and it shows that you're taking responsibility. I really screwed up. Now this phrase is something that I say all of the time. No worries.
No worries. No worries.
If somebody says, "Thank you so much for helping me out," you can say, "No worries. I'm going all in."
I'm going all in. I'm going all in.
Now, this is a phrase that you use when you want to show that you're serious about something. So, if you're planning a project with friends, you can say, "If we're going to do this, I'm going to go all in." And that means you're going to do everything you can to complete the project. I'm going all in. Sometimes people start talking about things that are not so important, and you need to get back on topic. That's when you can use "that's beside the point."
That's beside the point. That's beside the point.
Now, it's very common to hear "that's besides the point," and people add an S to the word beside, but the correct phrase is "that's beside the point." So maybe you're with a friend and you start talking about getting a new phone, and you say, "I really want this phone. It looks amazing." And maybe they say, "Oh, that looks nice, but I really want this car. This car is so beautiful." And you're like, "Yeah, but that's beside the point. We're talking about this new phone that I want." I gotta get going.
I gotta get going. I gotta get going.
Now, this is a really informal way to say "I need to leave." So maybe you're at a friend's place and it's getting really late. You can tell them, "Hey, it's late. I gotta get going." And this is a really informal way to say "I need to leave." When things go exactly the way that you thought that they would, you can say, "I figured as much."
I figured as much. I figured as much.
So let's just say that it started raining outside and you really don't know if you're going to be able to make it to a concert tonight. And you look at your phone and you see an alert and it says that the concert was canceled. That's when you can say, "I figured as much." And that's like saying, "Yeah, I knew that would happen." I'm working on a new English course using a new revolutionary method that I call assisted immersion. And I promise that if you sign up for it, you will improve your English. The link is down below. I'll see you there. Sometimes you just need to accept things the way that they are. And that's when you can say, "It is what it is."
It is what it is. It is what it is.
So if your friend's team didn't win, you can tell them, "It's okay. It is what it is." And that might make them feel better. When you don't have any set plans, you can say, "Let's play it by ear."
Let's play it by ear. Let's play it by ear.
So you can tell your friend, for example, "Well, we don't have any plans tonight, but that's okay. Let's just play it by ear." When the answer is super clear and obvious, you can say, it's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
If your sibling was given a job offer to a job that they always dreamed about having, and they ask you, should I accept the offer? You can say, yes, it's a no-brainer. Let's just say that you were waiting for a long time for something to happen. Maybe it was too long. You can say, better late than never.
Better late than never. Better late than never.
If your friend came to your party and he showed up 3 hours later, you can say, better late than never. When something is so confusing that you just can't understand it, you can say, I can't wrap my head around it.
Can't wrap my head around it. Can't wrap my head around it.
If someone made a really weird decision, you could say, I don't understand why he did that. I can't wrap my head around it. And yeah, we've definitely all felt that way. If you have a friend that's having a really hard time, let's just say that they went through a breakup. You can say, hang in there.
Hang in there. Hang in there.
And sometimes these words help more than you think. You can tell them, hey, I know it's really hard right now, but just hang in there. When you're going along with things and you're very relaxed, you don't really care about what happens, you can say, I'm just going with the flow.
I'm going with the flow. I'm going with the flow.
And that's when you really don't have a plan. You don't care what happens. I'm just going with the flow. If you want to let somebody know that you're there for them, you can say, I've got your back.
I've got your back. I've got your back.
When somebody tells me, I've got your back, it means a lot. I've got your back. When you want to express that you are not going to accept something, you can say, I'm not having it.
I'm not having it. I'm not having it.
So if something bad happens and somebody tried to blame you on that thing, you can say, I'm not having it. If you're explaining something that's really simple, you can say, it's not rocket science.
It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science.
And maybe a friend really doesn't follow the instructions that you're giving them. You can laugh and make the joke, it's not rocket science. It's not that hard to understand. When you don't believe what somebody is saying and you want to express doubt, you can say, I don't buy that.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that.
So when you're really not convinced that somebody is telling the truth, just say, I don't buy that. When you're talking about your favorite choice, you can say, this is my go-to.
Yeah, this is my go-to. Yeah, this is my go-to.
So if you're with friends and you're trying to decide where to eat, you can say, oh, I know about a really good Italian place. It's my go-to for Italian food. And that means it's your favorite place for Italian food. Your go-to place. Or simply, your go-to. You know those times when you completely forget about something? This happens to me a lot. It slipped my mind. Or you can say, I can't believe I forgot about that. It completely slipped my mind.
It completely slipped my mind. It completely slipped my mind.
When you want to confirm plans, you can say, for sure.
For sure. For sure.
For example, if somebody says, hey, are you coming to the party? You can say, for sure. Here's one that I really like. When you're joking around with somebody and they kind of take it seriously, you can tell them, hey, I'm just messing with you.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you.
So maybe you make fun of them a little bit too much and they get a little bit offended. You can say, relax, I'm just messing with you. When you're trusting something that somebody tells you, you can say, I'll take your word for it.
I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it.
Maybe you're working on a project with a partner and they say, don't worry, I finished everything. You can tell them, okay, I'll take your word for it. So it's like saying, okay, I trust you. We've all had those days where we don't feel so good. And that's when you can say, I'm not feeling 100%.
You're not feeling 100%? You're not feeling 100%?
It's a really good way to let people know that you're not feeling your best. You could say, for example, I think I'm going to stay home today. I'm not feeling 100%. And this could mean that maybe you're actually sick and you caught something like the flu, or it could mean that you just really don't feel good. Maybe you're sad and you don't want to do anything. You can say, I'm not feeling 100%. Here's a really good phrase for when you're making things up as you go. You can say, I'm just winging it.
I'm just winging it. I'm just winging it.
So if you're doing a big presentation and somebody tells you, hey, this is really interesting, you're doing a great job, you can tell them, thanks, I actually didn't prepare for it. I'm just winging it. And that means you didn't plan something out. You're just winging it. If you're with somebody and they tell you that they're feeling really hungry, you can tell them, let's grab a bite.
Let's grab a bite. Let's grab a bite.
And that means let's go get something to eat. Let's grab a bite. Okay, this is one that I use all the time. When you're feeling really excited about something, you can say, I'm down for that.
I'm down for that. I'm down for that.
And it's a really good way to say that you want to do something. You can also say simply, I'm down. And this is a really informal way to say, that sounds good to me. When you're really confused about what's going on and you want to know what's happening, you can ask, what's the deal?
What's the deal? What's the deal?
For example, if you're at work and everybody is feeling really stressed and moving around really quickly, you can say, what's the deal? And this is a really simple way to ask for an explanation. Okay, this is a really good one to use when somebody is right, but you don't want to tell them like, wow, you're so correct, I can't believe it. It's just a way to say simply, you're right. You're right. Yeah, that's true, you're right. You can say, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
When you totally agree with somebody and you're thinking in the same way, you can say, we're on the same page.
We're on the same page. We're on the same page.
So if you're working with somebody and that person tells you, I think we should focus on the main topics first, you can say, yeah, I think we're on the same page. And that means you completely agree with the other person. Sometimes you really don't care about something at all. And that's when you can say, I couldn't care less.
I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less.
Now be really careful with this one because it's pretty serious. If somebody tells you that, that means they really don't care and they're a little upset about it. Hey, did you hear what that guy said about you? You could respond, I couldn't care less. And that means you're a little upset about the situation, but you really don't care about what he says. When you see that somebody made a really good decision, you can say, that's a good call.
That's a good call. That's a good call.
So if somebody brought a lot of coupons to the store and they ended up saving a lot of money, you can say, hey, that was a good call. It was a good call for you to bring those coupons. It was a good decision. If something really isn't interesting to you, you can say, it's not my thing.
It's not my thing. It's not my thing.
If somebody asks you, for example, do you like fishing? You can say, it's not my thing, if you really don't like it. If you're having a day where you really don't feel like doing anything and you're feeling really lazy, you can say, I'm not feeling it today.
I'm not feeling it today. I'm not feeling it today.
Maybe you go to the gym every day, but today you're just feeling really tired. You can say, I'm just not feeling it today. Okay, this is something that happens all the time. Maybe you're having a conversation with somebody and you say something and they look at you when you say that thing and they're like, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Maybe you said something a little bit too weird or a little bit too crazy. Just say, I'm just saying. Sometimes something so unbelievable or surprising or crazy happens and you just can't help but react. That's when you can say, "You've got to be kidding me."
You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me.
You can also say, "You've got to be kidding." And this is something that we say all the time. If I, for example, lost my keys for the 3rd time today, I could say, "You've got to be kidding me. How is this possible?" If you want to let somebody else decide, you can say, "It's up to you."
It's up to you. It's up to you.
If you're a really flexible person like I am, this is something that you can say all of the time. It's up to you. Maybe if somebody asks you, "What movie do you want to watch?" you can tell them, "I don't care, it's up to you." When you really agree with someone about something, you can say, "Tell me about it."
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
So maybe somebody tells you, "Oh my gosh, traffic was horrible today." You can say, "Tell me about it," because maybe you went through that same traffic. Tell me about it. Instead of saying "no problem," you can say, "It's all good."
It's all good. It's all good.
So maybe somebody tells you, "Hey, I'm so sorry I'm late." You can say, "No worries, it's all good." Another way to say that you really don't feel like doing something is to say, "I'm not in the mood."
I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood.
If your friend asks you if you want to go out tonight and you don't want to, you can just say, "I'm sorry, I'm not in the mood." If something bad happened, but you want to make it sound like it wasn't such a bad thing, you can say, "It's not a big deal."
It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
And you can also use this phrase in a less serious situation. So if somebody tells you, "Thank you so much for helping me out. It was so helpful to me," you can tell them, "It's not a big deal." So this just makes things feel easy and no pressure. If something didn't happen in a way that you wanted it to, you can say, "That's a bummer."
It's a bummer. It's a bummer.
So maybe you were planning to go to a football game with a friend, but they tell you, "Hey, I'm really sorry, I can't go. I can't make it." You can tell them, "That's a bummer." So this is a good way to show that you're sad and disappointed about something, but in a not so serious way. For those times when you're not sure about what is going to happen, you can say, "We will see how it goes." We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
So if you're planning on going on a trip with somebody and they ask you, "Do you think it's going to rain when we're there?" you can say, "I don't know. We'll see how it goes." This is a really good phrase that you can use when you are saying that you are going to resolve a problem yourself. So, for example, if you just bought a new phone and somebody asks you if you need any help to set it up, you can tell them, "No thanks, I'll figure it out."
I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out.
Some days are really hard, and maybe somebody asks you how your day is going. You can tell them, "It's just one of those days."
It's just one of those days. It's just one of those days.
And that means it's been a pretty rough day. If you think it's a good idea to try something, even if you're unsure about it, you can say, "It's worth a shot."
It's worth a shot. It's worth a shot.
So maybe your friend asks you, "Should I apply for this job?" You can tell them, "Yeah, do it. It's worth a shot." When somebody tells you something that is really surprising or hard to believe, you can tell them, "You're joking, right?"
You're joking, right? You're joking, right?
Maybe your friend tells you, "I met Beyonce yesterday." You can say, "You're joking, right?" This is a really good one for when you want to say that you can solve a problem on your own. Maybe you're working with somebody and a customer is causing a lot of problems and your coworker says, "Do you want me to handle that?" You can tell them, "No, I can handle it."
I'll handle it. I'll handle it.
If you're working with somebody and a customer is causing problems, maybe your coworker says, "Do you want me to deal with that?" You can tell them, "No, don't worry, I'll handle it." So if a minor problem happens and you want to say that it's not a big deal, you can say, it's no biggie.
It's no biggie. It's no biggie.
So let's just say that somebody spills a drink on you and they say, hey, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that. You can just tell them, it's no biggie. And that means, no worries, it's no biggie. Okay guys, these were 50 essential phrases that should really step up your English. Make sure to watch this video to get more English practice with me. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!